Lord, I come to you now. I come into your presence. Lord, I come to you now. I come into your presence, seeking forgiveness your mercy can bring. 'Cause you died on the cross for my sin. Lord, I surrender, confess everything. That's always the place to begin. Again and again and again. Again and again and again.
Welcome back to Misfit Island, Misfit family. Welcome back to the island, and this is where we all gather, right? This is where we gather to prepare for those perilous times that are coming as we walk in this world full of deception. A little disclosure here: it's like I've had a bug for it's my third day. I've had this bug. It's bad, so I am like totally drained, and then right as I was like, I know, should be complaining, but as I was getting ready, if you watch this show, you know that I almost broke my neck in 2004, and I had some major problems with that. But as I was getting ready, I pinched a nerve in my neck, and it's, I learned early on with my when you get hurt or you have pain and you tell people, after a while they don't want to hear it anymore. And most people, they don't understand pain. If you're living in pain, and you know what I'm talking about, or if you've had a point in time in your life where you've had pain and you try to tell people in your circle of life, especially if it's been up for a long distance of time, or a long span of time, people don't want to hear it, and they don't understand it. But yeah, so it's like, because I have like 2 discs, there's no disc. It's like almost completely gone. So it's like bone on bone, and I have spinal stenosis. So my spine is shrinking, smaller and smaller. Actually, I was diagnosed when I was hurt. I don't know, maybe midway into it, like 4 years into it. I was like diagnosed, and he said, in 5 years you won't walk. Your spine is it was like shrinking and getting smaller and smaller. They kept doing MRIs on it. And they go, in 5 years, you're going to be in a wheelchair. It's going to pinch so much, it's going to pinch off your ability to walk and move your arms and stuff. I was like, oh, great. Man, what a great, yay, I can't wait. So anyways, that didn't happen. But every now and then I pinch a nerve, and the only way I can describe the pain is like it feels like I have like a 60-pound baby sitting on top of my head, and it's compressing all my, it's like it's pinching my nerves, and I just like somebody just like popped it out of place. Like, oh yeah. But and never, I tell you, I went through so many things, like with physical therapy, and they even have these contraction things they put on your head and try to like stretch you out, and acupuncture and classes. It just you just have to learn how to live with it. I got to the point where I was taking so much medication for it. The doctor ran all these tests on my organs and stuff, and he literally said, he's like, all right, Tim, you got a choice. Everything in your body's falling apart. You can keep taking all the medications you're taking. At that point, they was giving me all kinds of stuff, but I quit taking. All I took was pain pills, and every now and then I would take a Valium for the muscles, because I had major muscle spasms. I hated it, so I take it at night. That way I wouldn't feel the effects of it. I'd wake up, and usually the knots would be gone temporarily, because you're constantly pinching nerves. Because then you got a choice. You can stop taking medication, learn how to live with the pain, or you're gonna die. I was like, whoa, okay. So it probably took me 2 years to get to the point where I finally quit. But it was brutal. It was brutal. Pain pills are evil. If it's a temporary thing, you do it for a week or whatever, and you stop, you're okay. But I'm telling you start doing it for months. It's not only does your body need it for the pain, but you're physically and mentally, you're addicted. And it's like, your body tells you every 4 hours, where's my medicine? And to stop and get off of it, it's brutal. So anyways, I feel really bad. Yay! Let's keep watching this guy. So I'm just going to be short and sweet this week. I'm struggling. Just to give you forewarning, okay? So this is I call this my Digging for Gold series, because we already went through all the New Testament. Actually, the only book we haven't done in the New Testament is Matthew. I've done 3 Gospels. I was debating if I want to do Matthew, just start doing Matthew. That way I can say, I've done the whole New Testament. I might do that. Well, I think next week I'm going to start into a book again. I don't know. We'll see. I'm praying on it. And our family's getting smaller and smaller. I don't know if that's because of me, the content, or algorithms. Something. Maybe all 3. I don't know. So if you are watching, you're still watching me, thanks. You're part of the family. And the main reason we come here, I say perilous times, they're coming. Nothing to do about it. And we are definitely walking in mass deception. But, the main reason we come here is we're reading God's word. And this is helping us deepen our faith. And it's helping us, increase, or it's helping us, the understanding of what it means to have a relationship with God, and what He desires for us in our lives, and what He desires to bless us and to, fellowship with us. That's the key. It's not about a religion. If you're caught up and you belong to a religion, I know as I go through all these things, I read things. I know I say a lot of things that people don't want to hear, and they probably stop watching because and I mentioned it's not about a religion, and I talk about religions. It's like, and everything it's in general. It's not like 100% everybody or whatever. And there's, I'm sure there's I think there's like 95% of the churches in America are dead, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that go to those dead churches that love the Lord and have a relationship with Him, and they do. It's a dual thing, have fellowship with their friends, I guess, with their potlucks, and then they have their relationship with the Lord in their own personal terms, which is key. And the way you do that is basically, what we've been given is His word. We are blessed. We have we have everything we need. His 66 books they've compiled together, and we call it the Bible. And we have that. We are blessed. Especially here in America, we still have the freedom to be able to read this and do stuff like this. We can fellowship together. It's, this new technology. This thing, it's like back in the day when people have Bible studies in their homes, and they'd have 4, 5, 10, 15 people come over, and they'd get in a little circle and have a little Bible study. Somebody may read, maybe they discuss it. I don't know. I've never done a home study. So anyways, so my Digging for Gold, and today we're going to go into Job. Actually, the whole week I think we're just going to pick through Job. I'm not going to go through his whole struggle and his friends, if you want to call them friends, wife and friends. How they basically blame Job for all the problems in his life. But there's all kinds of gold nuggets in Job. Some bricks that help us build that foundation of faith. I think it's key. It's help us to understand how Satan works. Definitely you see that he's just one fallen angel, or one. I think he's you get the 4 living creatures in the book of Revelation. I think he was the 5th living creature, but who knows? It may have been an angel, just a fallen angel, but he's one. He can't be everywhere all the time. So. Yeah, we're just going to go through 1, 2, and go to the end when God talks to him after all his miserable crying and suffering. Kind of like, maybe I'm digging into it because that's what I feel like right now. I just feel nowhere's near like Job, and I wouldn't want that. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. But yeah, I don't know. Is it just a thing of getting old? Or is it like, am I being attacked? I don't want him to give this message. Get his neck, me in his stomach. Yeah, you can't. So I'm gonna have to. It's like I can barely. I'm a mess. So let's just dig in. Job chapter 1. Are you ready? And it's again, It's hot and the humidity is probably like 90%. I'm trying, when I edited last week's, the fan's like, it's kind of irritating. So I'm trying to do it without the fan. I pull my hat off and you see a big sweaty head because I'm sweating like a pig. It's like, dude, quit complaining and get on, read the word. Oh, sorry. Forgive me. So you ready? It's one of those, I think about the point where Job in chapter 3, he's just like, oh, he starts moaning and complaining. Thinking about that point right now. After like 4 days, started, but it's like three full days of just misery. Here I go again. There was a man in the land of Uz, or Uz, I don't know, whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright. And Job, most people believe that this is the first book or first scroll back then that was ever written. Some say that Moses actually wrote it before he wrote like the first 5 books of the Pentateuch. I think it's called the Pentateuch, something like that. First 5 books in the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. I think those are out. I didn't go to Sunday school where they teach that song where you can learn all the books in the Bible by singing a song. Which if I did that, because that's a good way for me to remember something like that in the song form. I remember my memories. I don't know if I got pre Alzheimer's. Well, I can literally forget something a couple days later and it's gone. It's a trigger and oh yeah, but I'm getting bad. I'm getting really bad. So I don't know if I'm like early stages of Alzheimer's or what's the other one? Or you look like you lose your mind. I hope not. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Okay, let's go. 10 minutes of complaining. So, Job is a man. Oh, let me put this up here because my glasses are sliding down. That a man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. Also, his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the East. Wow. So Job, he shunned evil, he was blameless and upright, and he was like the richest man of the East. All the stuff he had in his possession of. So verse 4. And his sons will go and feast in their houses, each of his appointed day, and would send. So it's like he's got 7 sons, right? And it's like, I guess 7 days out of the week, each one of them had a party at each house. Like party at Tim's house on Monday, party at Joe's house on Tuesday. So his kids are partiers, spoiled rotten. You get the filthy, typical of filthy rich families. Their kids are spoiled rotten, and they end up being spoiled adults. So these guys had parties every day at each one of the sons' house, each of his appointed day, and would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. So each son had a party every day of the week, and then he invited the sisters too. So it was when the days of feasting had run their course that Job would send and sanctify them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did regularly. So Job was, on his knees praying for his sons and daughters because they was partiers, spoiled rotten kids partying, and he was, he prayed for them. He didn't go there, get out there, you're grounded to do this. And I was praying for him. It's pretty awesome. I think I'd go the strict route. But I don't know. Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God, your first golden, other than the description of Job, here's a golden brick for you. The sons of God. And that's why I tell you, when you see the study Bible, I always go to see how they describe Genesis 6. The sons of God. If they're saying this is the line of Seth, the Bible's trash. Because if they're saying that, Genesis 6, it's key, it's foundational, key to understanding everything from that point on. What's going on in the world? The seed war, the rebellions, the rebellion today. It's all connected to back then. And the sons of God. If the people are teaching you the word and they're telling you that it's the line of Seth, they're the stuff like the stuff we're going to read today. How do they get away with how can one be the sons of God, of an angel? God created them. They're sons of God, like Adam, right? Adam was a son of God. God created him. These angels in the heavens are sons of God. God created them too. We're sons of men because we're a byproduct of Adam and Eve, right? So these sons, the line of Seth wasn't taught until 300-400 years into the Christian church or the church age. So, and then you got people today that are like highly intelligent and like know the Bible inside and out. That are teaching it's the line of Seth. And I think of one guy in particular, and the dude's like his vocabulary is master's degree English, and and he's like highly intelligent, probably got a photographic memory. He's got the gift of gab. He's a pastor. He's got a couple pages on and he's all caught up in trying to get money, but he teaches the line of Seth, and it's like how does he? The reason why I say I just stopped listening to those guys, because when they come across stuff like this, is they gotta like wiggle their way around it and say some other off the wall kind of thing to make it fit. And it's the same word that's used in Genesis 6, where the sons of God came down and had sex or procreated with the women on the earth. It wasn't, so, and if you took that, so if that was the case, it was this line of Seth that did that, then you can say here, now there was a day when the line of Seth, instead of the sons of God, came to present themselves before the Lord and Satan. How are this line of Seth going to go to the Lord? We see later on, it's not on earth. So let's just continue. Sons of God are angels. So the angels are in heaven with Satan, and they're presenting themselves before the Lord. And also Lord and Satan. So it says the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came from them, among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it." So the Lord's like, "Where you been, Satan?" He's like, "Well, I was on earth. I was going to and fro, and I was walking back and forth." Remember, Satan is one individual, one fallen angel, or one living creature that's fallen, in his fallen state. Or actually, at this point, I don't think he's in his fallen state yet. He still has access to heaven. He hasn't been kicked to the earth yet, but he has access to heaven. So they're in heaven. These sons of God are not the line of Seth. It's the same Benai Elohim, same in Genesis 6, the same sons of God. Enoch calls them the Watchers. So they came down and they mated with the women. They created a hybrid race that they called the Nephilim. Some of them were giants. They had all these tribes, and they all warred against it. I went to go see Friday. I went to go see the Odyssey. Wow. I mean, never read the book. Homer wrote. I think he wrote 3 of them, 3 novels like that. But pretty awesome. And there's like all the battle scenes, the fighting giants, the Cyclops. One of them's the Cyclops, the one-eyed giant. They got caught in a cave trying to get food, and they had to fight it their way because he kept blocking it out. And they had to fight his way to get out of that. And then the other one, there's another island they went to, and there was a bunch of giants in armor, wearing armor. But I mean, it's historical. People try to say it's mythological. No, that place literally took place on Earth. There was giants on the land that warred against humans. I mean, the Cyclops, the giant Cyclops in the cave, was like the part of what's his name, Odysseus. Matt Damon, his character, the guys on the ships with him, because they went to go fight this battle. It was like it went back and forth. I guess the book is the same. But they went to go fight the Battle of Troy, and where they hid in the horse, and they went in, opened the gates, and went in, and they won the Battle of Troy. And it was about his, it was back and forth, but it was like his journey, trying to get back home to his wife and his son that he didn't know. But anyways, pretty good. I thought, and it was a trip. I go in the theater, and I go early, and it's like entire. I mean, it's their biggest theater in my hometown. It's the biggest one. I think they have 11 of them. This number one. It's the biggest one. All by myself. I was literally back row going. I was all by myself. I mean, you know how much it would cost? Like if you say, I want to rent this theater out and I want it all by myself. I want to watch this movie all by myself. Probably like $3,000. And I got in for like $550. Watch the entire movie by myself. Nobody smacking popcorn, nobody talking, nobody on their cell phones. It was great. I loved it. So anyways, the sons of God are the angels, and Satan's along with them in heaven. And the Lord asked him, what have you been doing? He's, I was walking to and fro on the earth. Verse 8, then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? So I don't know, maybe it was common knowledge that Satan was like harassing human beings on earth. Maybe he was already at the point where this seed wars, I guess the seed war is probably already going on. Yeah, it's got to be way after Genesis 3:15. So the seed war is going on. So, I guess Satan is like, even though he's like still has access to heaven, he's like the enemy of God. There's a war going on, and I guess God knows what he's doing. He's like, hey, have you considered my servant Job? Have you checked him out? And so he says, have you considered my servant Job? And there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and shuns evil. So Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? So I guess, oh my goodness. So I guess maybe he did see him, but he's like, he couldn't attack him because God had a hedge around him. And you have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you and your face. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. So now Satan's like, he's in heaven, right? And he's like, okay, so now he can do anything he wants to Job. He just can't kill him. Can't touch it. Can't touch him. So this shows you how this war that's going on. This is the tactics that Satan uses, and it's nothing new under the sun. He uses it against us too. So verse 13, now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine. So they did it every day, right? Each son, it says, each on his appointed day. So they had parties each day in their house, just living the, I guess they think, living the full life, right? They get, they're having parties. They're partying and getting drunk every day at each other brother's house. That's life, right? Eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them when the Sabeans raided them and took them away. Indeed, they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and alone I have escaped to tell you. So they're at the oldest brother's house, and I guess Job's there, eating and drinking wine. This dude runs in, dude, Job, the donkeys and the oxen were plowing. And these Sabeans, whoever they are, raided them and took them away. So he killed them and killed all the servants too. So Job's like, what? So what did he have? How many did he have? So he said possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen. So 500 oxen and 500 female donkeys. I don't know if the female donkeys they plow. So like 1,000 animals were stolen, and all the servants were killed. Job's like, what? Verse 16, while he was still speaking, so the guy's still speaking, another also came in and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you. So Job's like, oh, all my donkeys and they stole my donkeys and the donkeys and the oxen. And this before he's even done, this other dude comes in and says, the fire of God. So he thinks it's the fire of God, but who's like been given free will to go mess with Job? It's Satan, right? So he uses mankind to go steal all of his oxen was oxen and donkeys, kill all the servants. And then Satan using the fire, supposedly the fire of God, and consumed all of his sheep. How many sheep did he have? I think 7,000. So also the possessions were 7,000. So 7,000 sheep were consumed by fire. Imagine 7,000 sheep. Wow. I mean, I go and drive to my work. There's this farm. This guy's probably got like 20 sheep. It's awesome. They're out there grazing by the road. I always stop and check them out, talk to them, do my Dr. Doolittle stuff on them. So anyways, the guy says, "Oh, I have escaped." And then 17, while he was still speaking, another also came in and said, so there's another one dude runs in. And so imagine, you're the richest man in the world, and all your donkey, oxen, and sheep are gone, and all your servants that took care of them are dead. And then another guy runs in. Imagine your gut. It's like, what? And so it came in and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 bands and raided the camels and took them away. Yes, and killed the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you. So now all of his camel are gone. So basically everything you own is gone. And all the servants have been killed. All this, like, probably within a span of 5 minutes. Verse 18, while he was still speaking, he's like, no, please. Another also came and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their... Wait a minute. So the brother's house, and a messenger came to Job and said, so maybe Job wasn't there. So they're drinking in a house, and a messenger came to Job, wherever he's at. Because now it says, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you. So now all of his children are dead. Wow. Could you imagine? Everything, if you're filthy rich and everything you built your entire life is gone in 5 minutes. Verse 20, then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and fell on the ground and worshipped. So would that be your reaction? Fall down and worship God? Like, why? No, he fell down and worshipped, and he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrong. I mean, like Job, this righteous man, upright man. To get to that point, his level of faith is, up here. But I mean, as we get older, actually, the point to where we should be getting in our walk is realizing that we came from mother's womb with nothing, and we're going to go out with nothing. It's like the signs of, he who has the most toys wins. I remember California was like bumper sticker heaven. You always tell the position of people when you see their bumper stickers. Bumper sticker tells a lot about people. So anyways, so through all that, Job shaved his head, fell down and worshiped God, and he did not sin or charge God with any wrong. So there you go. So gold nuggets. The sons of God are angels in heaven. I don't know how many groupings of them there. I think there's at least 10. Well, no, actually, I think the Nephilim. When the Watchers came down and they mated with the women, they took the women who they wanted, who they pleased, and then it said they created the Nephilim, these men of old, men of renown, before and after the flood. I believe there's at least 10 of those. There's at least 10 groups of those that formed on the planets, and I think those 10 groups are going to come back again. Those are the 10 kings in the book of Revelation, but that's a whole other study. So there you go. Chapter 1 of the book of Job, some nuggets, some golden bricks, and so yeah, we'll continue on in chapter 2 on Wednesday. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday.